Who dares to come here? To master this art, one must cultivate, not castrate. Another Dongfang Bubai? The sun rises in the east, and I alone am undefeated. An old man dared to challenge Dongfang Bubai, not just because of his unmatched martial arts, but also because he was Ren Woxing, the current leader of the Sun Moon Holy Cult. A cruel and tyrannical master, Ren Woxing treated his followers worse than cattle, killing on a whim. To resist him, some disciples placed their hopes in Dongfang Bubai, forming a faction against Ren Woxing. But over the past 6 months, countless Dongfang Bubai had emerged at Blackwood Cliff. Yet none had succeeded in killing Ren Woxing. Now, yet another Dongfang Bubai had arrived. Though this one appeared more skilled, Ren Woxing had just achieved mastery in his Dark Star absorption technique. Tonight, with my power at its peak, I shall test my skill on a live subject. But to Dongfang Bubai, such so-called divine techniques and absorption arts were no more than scraps of thread compared to his embroidery needles and red silk. The first needle forced Ren Woxing into great difficulty. Then came the second, the third. Dongfang Bubai stood atop the third, declaring, "You're no match for me." "How did you master the Sunflower Manual?" Ren Woxing cried. "I studied the real manual. To master this art, one need not castrate. One can still cultivate divine power without it." Ren Woxing didn't believe it. After all, how many Dongfang Bubais had challenged him before? But the horrifying truth stood before him. This one had really succeeded. In the end, he lost not only an eye, but also his freedom, imprisoned by Dongfang Bubai. Yet this wasn't the real Dongfang Bubai. He was merely one of 12 body doubles. The real Dongfang Bubai, having used many stand-ins, finally had to step in personally. But even Dongfang Bubai now faced a conundrum. Though he had castrated himself, he could never reach the 9th level of mastery. All 11 doubles before him, men who had also castrated themselves, reached only the 4th or 5th layer. He began to understand. Perhaps self-castration wasn't the key. Only the pure yin constitution of a woman could truly unlock the Sunflower Manual's final potential. The number 9 wasn't just the 9th level of the Sunflower Manual. It symbolized the pinnacle of martial arts. To grasp the 9th layer was to reach the peak of personal martial comprehension. Linghu Chong, senior disciple of the Huashan sword sect, had become entangled in this struggle. After rescuing a woman from the demonic cult, he drew the ire of Zuo Lengchen, a so-called righteous man. Zuo used this as an excuse to pressure his master, Yue Buken, leader of the Huashan sect. "Linghu Chong, confess your collusion with that demonic girl." As it turned out, the woman he saved was none other than Ren Yingying, daughter of Ren Woxing, the former cult leader. Though their bond was forged through shared musical tastes, the so-called righteous sects refused to accept any connection to the demonic world. Linghu Chong was branded a traitor, while Yue Buken was questioned for failing to discipline his disciple. "Master Yue," someone sneered, "your disciple has clearly been corrupted by the demonic cult." "You speak of morality?" shouted another. "Linghu Chong said it was only a musical score she gave him. What more do you want?" Though some junior disciples defended him, Huashan's reputation was at stake. Just as tensions flared, a clear bell chimed through the dusk. An overwhelming presence approached, one far beyond them. "Such powerful sword energy!" a disciple exclaimed. "Greetings, Uncle Feng." It was Feng Qingyang of the Sword Branch. He had once shared wine with Linghu Chong at Cliff of Reflection. He had watched as Linghu saved Ren Yingying and recognized then that the youth was extraordinary. "Everyone," he said, "Linghu Chong will abolish his martial arts." Linghu Chong, kneeling, declared, "Please don't hold Huashan responsible for what I've done." Senior brother! Senior brother! But the so-called righteous sects still refused to spare him. Numbers meant nothing. When the time came, Feng Qingyang struck decisively and gave Linghu Chong an incredible gift. "This boy has only cultivated 10 years' worth of inner energy," Feng said. "Let me give him 20 more." Zuo Lengchan objected. "You'd break the rules of Jianghu for him?" "The strong set the rules," Feng replied coldly. "Do you think you're stronger than me?" "Yobukin, he is now my disciple, on par with you. Next time you meet Linghu Chong, call him senior brother." Thus, Linghu Chong became a disciple of Feng Qingyang. A spark ignited. A path began to unfold. Still, when Ren Yingying returned to seek Linghu Chong, he refused to see her. "The chain's freshly cut," she muttered. "He doesn't want to meet me." But Feng Qingyang saw through it all. Follow your heart, he told Ling Huchang. Only then will you comprehend the final sword technique, the ninth layer of the ancient art. Ren Yingying truly had a reason to find him. She wanted his help descending the mountain to prevent a martial catastrophe. Not long ago, the 5 mountain sword sects had once again besieged Blackwood Cliff. Her father and her sectmates were gravely injured, possibly captured. Before leaving, Feng Qingyang gifted Ling Huchang his own sword from youth, a symbol of guidance and destiny. Human nature is born good, he whispered. Let your heart guide your sword. A swordless figure stood at the western peak, murmuring to the mountain demon in a dream. Ling Huchang, come down from the mountain. I most enjoy drinking the blood of young maidens like you, especially those with fair, tender skin, the most delicious of all. Today, I humbly beg Miss Yue to reward me with her eyes. It's said the Sun and Moon cult has 3 envoys, each capable of holding off 100 enemies alone, commanding their own territory. And the one wielding twin sabers is the envoy known as Shen Yuyu. Miss Yue, without help, you might be in grave danger. But those protecting her aren't just her junior brothers. There's also that drunken monk, Ling Huchang. Lu Hong, Lao Danak, take good care of our junior sister. As for that strange Han man with the broken saber, leave him to me. Imagine a 3-line envoy being called a strange Han man with a broken blade. It's the first time I've been so belittled. Shen Yuyu swore to make his enemy write that insult down by hand. That strange Han with the broken saber really is no match for the wine-loving Ling Huchang. But just as Shen Yuyu was about to be slain, a fat man wielding an iron mallet appeared. That man was another of the 3-line envoys, Min Huixin. With 2 of the 3-line envoys present, the third surely wasn't far. After all, the 3, greed, ignorance, and obsession, usually act together. What about that noodle fortune-teller guy? Yes, the blind one, not the disciple. Still, whether it's one more or one less, to Ling Huchang, it's just a matter of a few extra bottles of wine. He also had help from Ren Yingying and Lan Fenghuang. Though the 3 envoys were formidable, Ling Huchang was trained by a grandmaster among grandmasters. Dealing with them was like flipping his hand. But soon, something felt wrong. Shen Yuyu had his arm severed, Wu Ying was disemboweled, and Min Huixin's chest was slashed open. Had Dongfang Bubai raised a band of monsters? Magic? Maybe. Still, Ling Huchang quickly found a way to fight back. The 3-line envoys began to change. They seemed to merge, launching coordinated attacks. But to Ling Huchang, defeating them was easy. Unable to win, their arrogance vanished. They only thought of escape. Ling Huchang, however, had no intention of letting them go. He chased them down relentlessly, with Ren Yingying following to assist. At a waterfall, Shen Yuyu suddenly saw their leader, Dongfang Bubai. At first, Ling Huchang thought Shen Yuyu was trying to harm the person. Miss, are you all right? But Dongfang Bubai's glance told the truth. Shen Yuyu faked an attack, and the cult master pretended to dodge, both plunging into the waterfall. To save her, Ling Huchang leapt in without hesitation. For a moment, something strange passed between them. What surprised him most, this mysterious young woman also liked to drink. It's cold here. Would you care for a drink to warm up? For a drunkard, sharing wine is friendship. I'm Ling Huchang, he said, introducing himself. And your name? He asked. Honestly, I don't have one, she replied. A name is a person's whole life. How can you not have one? Let me give you one. All right, since we're surrounded by water, I'll call you Little Fish. Little Fish? A lovely name for a wine-loving lady by the water. Meanwhile, in the forest, Lan Fenghuang and the other disciples had run into trouble. An old acquaintance. When Ling Huchang returned, the others were nowhere to be seen, and he was suddenly ambushed. To his shock, the attacker was none other than Yue Bukun, his master and head of Huashan sect. Eventually, Yue Bukun came to, claiming he'd been injured by Dongfang Bubai's enchantments, and the miasma here had affected his mind. Ling Huchang believed him, even inviting him to drink together. But where are the disciples? Yue Bukun tricked Ling Huchang into descending into the Sun and Moon cult's altar, reciting a list of their supposed crimes. In truth, he wanted a chance to kill him. After all, with Feng Qingyang's teaching, Ling Huchang had far surpassed him. Unfortunately, just as Yue's scheme was about to succeed, Sun and Moon cult members arrived. Ling Huchang then suggested splitting up. Let's rescue the others separately and meet at Sacred Peak. While Ling Huchong went to save people, Yue Bukun sought out the three envoys. Their wounds, under the effect of the three-corpse mind pill, were miraculously healing. Seeing this, Yue Bukun was awestruck, bowed deeply, and pledged loyalty to them. Elsewhere, Ling Huchong had slipped into the cult, accidentally wandering into a private chamber. A voice rang out, "Who dares trespass into my quarters?" Just as they were about to clash, they recognized each other. "You? What are you doing here?" "Little fish, do you know this is Dongfang Bubai's room? Come with me." "Of course I know. You already knew I'd be here." "Don't tell me you're Dongfang Bubai's maid?" Only someone in love would think of such a response, and she didn't deny it. On the contrary, she played along and even invited him for a drink. "I just stole the key to the wine cellar. Want to join me?" At first, he refused. His disciples still needed rescuing. But with fine wine and a beautiful woman, and her promise to help afterward, he gave in and began to sing and drink. That night, he told her he wanted to take her away from this place, to see the sea, the snowy mountains, wander through great cities and small towns, and taste all the delicacies of the world. In the end, thanks to Little Fish's help, Ling Huchong easily reached the iron prison of the Sun and Moon sect, met his junior brother and sister, and successfully rescued them. But just as they were about to leave, he ran into Ren Yingying, who had also come to rescue her father. "Ling Huchong, Xiang Wentian, take my juniors and go ahead. Chong and I will save Ren Waxing." With Chong's current power, the guards were no match at all. Ren Yingying quickly found her father, Ren Waxing. She pulled out the steel needles blocking his vital meridians, then helped him escape from the remaining restraints using his own body strength. Ren Waxing's escape alarmed the three envoys, but when they saw Ren Waxing, they were terrified. Yet Ren Waxing gave them no chance. He considered them traitors of the Sun and Moon sect. Chenggu, a great master with such martial prowess, doesn't need to waste words on them. This time, all those whom Ling Huchong wanted to save had been rescued. Ren Waxing felt that Chong had made the greatest contribution and invited him to become vice leader of the sect. But Ling Huchong had no such desire. His heart was with his juniors. Ren Waxing felt insulted, but, out of regard for his daughter, let it pass. That night, Ling Huchong drank joyfully with his junior brother and sister. However, he soon seemed burdened by something. While they slept, he went off to resolve what troubled him. Suddenly, he thought he saw his master, Yue Bukun. Yue Bukun, it turned out, had not only joined the Sun and Moon sect, but had become a bone-melting elder. He had killed the leaders of 4 other sects to use their marrow in his cultivation. Unfortunately, Ling Huchong witnessed it all. He couldn't believe his revered master had become such a person. Yue Bukun began explaining, claiming he had been forced by Dongfang Bubai and did it only to survive. "If I hadn't, I would have lost my place too." Yue tried to sway Chong with emotion, pleading and even mentioning his daughter, Yue Lingshan. Ling Huchong began to soften, slowly choosing to forgive. But it was all a ruse. "Since we're here, I'll teach you one final move. If one doesn't live for himself, heaven and earth will destroy him." If one doesn't live for himself, heaven and earth will destroy him. The sect leader's techniques are indeed powerful. There's still time to take the 3-corpse brain-devouring pill. In the end, Ling Huchong was saved by Dongfang Bubai. What puzzled Dongfang Bubai was why Chong had returned when he said he would retreat into seclusion after saving his juniors. But Chong's reply shocked her even more. "I came to take you away, to see the sea, the snowy mountains." That night, something subtly shifted between them. To her, the name Dongfang Bubai was no longer hers. Little Fish was her true name. She longed to live that simple life with Ling Huchong. But the death mark had already appeared on her face. She could not leave Blackwood Cliff, could not escape this abyss. To preserve their most beautiful memory, she had to leave him. The next day, just as Ling Huchong was about to leave, a grand ceremony seemed to be taking place at the camp. Curious, he followed and saw Dongfang Bubai in person. But the more he looked, the more the figure resembled Little Fish. Could she truly be Dongfang Bubai? That night, he sneaked back and witnessed the next scene. Blue Phoenix had been killed, her blood completely drained. The death mark on Little Fish's face disappeared, but Chong was caught spying. As foretold, they were never meant to walk the same path. "You're the demon sect leader, Dongfang Bubai, aren't you? Then do you still want to take me away?" From that moment at the waterfall, you've been lying to me. Ling Hu Chong, must you force me to admit I'm a monster? If not for the yin-yang deviation from cultivating the sunflower manual, would I have this human form? Would you still drink my wine, stay with me, or come looking for me in the morning? Huh? Would you? Why didn't you tell me you were Dongfang Bubai? So what if I am? Does a name matter? Didn't you say you'd take me to see the sea and play freely? I never want to see you again. In that moment, Ling Hu Chong became the heartless one. Perhaps the one who suffered more was Little Fish. Why did the whole world betray her? The original story had a vague subplot about immortal ears. When Ling Hu Chong returned, he found his senior brothers all murdered. The only survivor was his junior sister, but her eyes had been destroyed. Junior sister, you're awake! It's me, senior brother. But when she heard his voice, Yu Lingshan instinctively recoiled. Ling Hu Chong, don't touch me! Junior sister, my father was right. He wasn't wrong. It was you who got everyone here killed. It was you. All of this was your doing. It was Dongfang Bubai who slaughtered everyone from the Huashan sect just to force Ling Hu Chong to join the Sun and Moon holy cult, cutting off all his ties and hopes. At that moment, all Ling Hu Chong could think about was that person, Dongfang Bubai, who had murdered his fellow disciples. To seek revenge, Ling Hu Chong sought out Ren Waxing and joined his faction. The deadly clash between the two sides erupted in an instant. What surprised Dongfang Bubai was that the man who had betrayed her was now standing with Ren Waxing. Ling Hu Chong, are you here to kill me too? You and I must settle this today. A heartless traitor like you still dares to speak with such venom? I feel sorry for the cult master to have loved someone like you. Dongfang Bubai, a demonic creature like you must be eliminated by all righteous people in the world. Even more laughable, the words of justice now came from the mouth of a former demon king like Ren Waxing. The great battle had finally begun, yet Ren Waxing had already lost one eye and been imprisoned before. Where he found the confidence to fight again this time was unknown. Had he forgotten those red-threaded needles? And yet, he didn't dodge. On the contrary, he fought more ferociously. Though defeated in the first clash by Dongfang Bubai, he charged forward again, unleashing the divine energy within his body. Dongfang Bubai also moved with unmatched elegance and speed. Once more, Ren Waxing was struck down, his meridians shattered, blood spurting from his mouth. Falling to the ground, he hurriedly sealed his own blood flow. Perhaps his fury moved Ling Hu Chong. For vengeance, he didn't hesitate. Every sword strike aimed to take Dongfang Bubai's life. Yet Dongfang Bubai kept dodging, never retaliating. Each move was defensive, showing no intent to harm Ling Hu Chong. But this man not only betrayed her love, he wanted to kill her. You're truly heartless. Every strike of yours aims to kill me. You killed my disciples. How can I not be ruthless? I swear, I didn't do it. The person I once knew wasn't Dongfang Bubai, but the simple girl named Little Fish who longed for freedom. At this point, perhaps Ling Hu Chong had realized something. Perhaps this was the 9th level of enlightenment he was approaching. Everyone makes choices others can't understand. You'll realize that sooner or later. The script contains lines not easily explained. Why draw your sword? You'll figure it out yourself one day. If you encounter the cult again, to kill or not, decide for yourself. A true hero with martial skills like yours has no need for useless words with people like them. Do you understand my heart? To retreat into the mountains, to laugh at the world from the shadows. But what Ling Hu Chong couldn't understand was, why didn't she dodge? And why did it end this way? You have no pulse. Where is your heart? At that moment, Ren Waxing revealed his true treacherous face. He wanted to kill them both. Fortunately, his daughter was nearby, saving Ling Hu Chong in the nick of time. Yet, Dongfang Bubai was stabbed by Ling Hu Chong's sword. Even though she mustered her last burst of strength, she was no longer Ren Waxing's match. His inner force struck her wounded body. She now fell like a broken kite, crashing to the ground. Ling Hu Chong leapt after her, desperate to ask where her heart had gone. Just like before, he caught her in his arms once more. Where has your heart gone? But did the answer still matter? Her heart had long belonged to him. For his sake, she had taken the 3-corpse brain pill, dug out her own heart to save him. She had become a monster. You rotten ghost, just leave. Those were the same words she had said to him before in the steel prison, "You rotten ghost, get out of here." After Dongfang Bubai's death, Ren Wuxing once again took the seat of the cult master. But his laughter finally made young monk Dust realize it was he who had murdered the Huashan disciples. This time, Ling Huchong finally understood he had wrongly accused her. But now, he no longer wanted to do anything meaningless. Wanderer joy never ends, but what could never be undone was betraying Little Fish's love. A smile in the seas, the rivers flow endlessly, the hairpin floats with the waves. What of this evening's tide? All right, that's the end of today's video. If you enjoyed this commentary, please like and subscribe. Your support is the motivation for us to continue making new videos. Thank you for always supporting us. See you in the next episode.